Vatican Secretary of State gave an interview with a Spanish radio network published yesterday. In it, Cardinal Pietro Parolin discussed the Vatican's deal with China and what he described as a loss of faith in Europe. EWTN News Rome correspondent Colm Flynn joins us now. Colm, great to see you. I understand Cardinal Parolin spoke of the issues of church reform and reconciliation in his interview. What more can you tell us about what he had to say?
Good evening, Tracy. Yes, that's right. Well, it was a wide-ranging interview with the Spanish radio network COPE, and in it, the Vatican Secretary of State, Cardinal Pietro Parolin, he spoke about things like, as you mentioned, reform of the Curia, conflicts within the church, the reality of the church in China, the journey to Iraq, and the church mission in Europe. Let's start with China. Referring to the controversial China-Vatican deal, he said that the steps which were taken so far were in the right direction towards reconciliation within the church, but he added that the problems will probably take a long time to address. He said the deal made with China is to protect the small but strong Catholic community that is there in the country today. And he said that the Vatican views the situation in China with great respect, given its history of suffering and religious persecution. And he also stressed that the Catholic Church in China must be in communion with the Pope.
Well, Colm, you also mentioned that the Cardinal spoke about the church in Europe. What exactly did he have to say?
Well, when he was referring to proposals for legislation in different European countries which are moving further and further away from core Christian values, and speaking generally, the Cardinal acknowledged what he called the loss of faith in Europe, and he spoke about the anthropological changes that are taking place, losing, quote, the identity of the human person. He sees it as a result of this. And in the interview, he said that there was not just a loss of faith, but also a loss of reason, echoing the words of Pope Benedict XVI. And he went on to stress that Catholics in Europe must now be a strong witness to their faith and a strong witness to the church charity without ever imposing it on others. That, he said, is their mission today.
I also understand His Eminence touched upon the division within the Catholic Church. What points did he bring up there? What can you tell us?
Well, he was speaking about the division within the church between what he referred to as so-called conservative Catholics and progressive Catholics, the conservative wing and the progressive wing of the Catholic Church. And the Cardinal said this was a cause for concern and stressed that this division only causes harm to the church itself. And he talked about how Christ prayed for unity. When asked about where he thought this division was coming from, he said that one such reason could be the fact that the Pope puts, quote, a lot of emphasis on reforming the church, and there is a lot of confusion about that, end quote. He said that the structure of the church, the deposit of the faith, the sacraments and the apostolic ministry, all that cannot be changed. But there are, quote, whole areas of life in the church that can be renewed and needs to be continually renewed. He said Catholics must distinguish between what is essential and cannot be changed and what is not essential and must be reformed. Tracy?
Okay, Colm Flynn, EWTN News Rome correspondent. Colm, thank you so much for that report.
Thank you, Tracy.